The Secret Knowledge of Antiquity by Apollonius Tyaneussss. Apollonius Tyaneussss, 15 to 38, was a Greek Neo-Pythagorean philosopher from Tyana in the Roman province of Cappadocia in Asia Minor. He was an orator and philosopher around the time of Jesus Christ and was compared to Jesus by Christians in the 4th century and by other writers in modern times. Everything we have information about Apollonius comes from Philostratus. Philostratus owes his fame mainly to the 8 books that were to Tyanea Apollonius. During Tyanea's trip to India, he met the famous Brahmins, where he extracted a lot of information about the distant past. In an early article we found had referred to the campaign of Dionysius and Hercules in India, according to what Apollonius Tyaneussss informs us through Philostratus. And here we see how he describes the Brahmins of India and the ancient knowledge they possess, the so-called secrets of antiquity. Through Philostratus, we read, he, Apollonius, climbed from the south side of the hill following the Indus and first saw a well with 4 openings from the mouth, a glow of intense blue color. Each time at noon the sun stood on it, the glow rose from the sun's rays and ascended, producing a kind of glowing rainbow. Then he learned about the well, that the earth below it contained arsenic sulfide, and the water was considered mysterious and magical. No one drank or took out the water. All over the surrounding Indian region they swore on it. Near it was a fire crater whose flame was black, and there was no smoke or smell, nor did this crater overflow, but it was so hot that it did not come out of the pit. There are Indians of India, and they are purified from unintentional mistakes, which is why the sages call the well of control, and the fire they call the fire of forgiveness. They say that they saw 2 black stone jars with rain and wind. The rain jar, every time the Indian suffers from drought, opens and brings out clouds and moistens the whole area. If it rains a lot, it keeps them closed. They keep them closed. The jar of winds, I think, plays the same role as the bag of Aeolus, the god of the winds. Opening the jar a little, they let one of the winds come out and blow at the right time, and so the earth is rejuvenated. They say they also saw statues of gods, and if they were statues of Indian or Egyptian gods, it would not be a curious fact. But they were very ancient Greek, one of Athena Poliados, the other of Delius Apollo, another of Dionysius of Limnea and Amycleos, and others, and many more of the same era. These were set up by the Indians according to ancient Greek customs. They say that these Indians live in the middle of India and consider the top to be the navel of the mountain. There are ceremonies there with fire and that are said to be lit by the sun's rays. For the sake of the sun, they sing an anthem every day at noon. Apollonius himself describes what kind of people they were and how they lived at the top. In one of his speeches to the Egyptians, he says, I saw the Indian Brahmins living on earth without treading on it, being walled without walls, and having everything without gaining anything. His words involved some wisdom. Brahmins, however, say that they sleep at home and pave the ground with as many as they can collect. He also says that he saw meteors moving at a height of 2 bars above the earth, not to be considered miracle workers, something they avoid, but leaving the earth and walking with the sun, they think that they are doing something welcomed by God. The fire they emit from the sun's rays, although it is real, is neither lit on an altar nor kept in ovens, but just as the glows are reflected by the sun and water, so the fire seems meteoric and moving in the ether. They pray to the sun so that the seasons which the sun rules may come to earth in due time, and the Indian may prosper. At night they beg the ray of light not to tolerate the darkness and to stay exactly as they brought it. That is what Apollonius's words mean. The Brahmins are on earth and not on it. They are walled without walls, reveals the air under which they live. Because although they seem to live in the countryside, they cast a shadow over them. They do not get wet when it is raining, and it is under the sun whenever they want. The sentence, without having acquired anything, they have everything, Tyaneussss explains in this way. The more springs gush from the earth from the Bacchus, when Dionysus shakes them and the earth, the more abundant there are for them, the Indians, when they themselves or host others. So Apollonius rightly says that those who decide what they want without preparation, but find it ready, have what they do not have. They leave their hair long, as the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans that is, the Thurians and the Tarantinos, the Melians, and those who had the Laconian habits once did. They wear a white mitre on their head, meaning a white, like a bishop's hat on their head, walk around barefoot, and their clothes look like an outing. The material of their clothes is wool that grows on its own from the ground and is white like the Pamphylia, but softer. Fat drips from it like olive oil and is considered a sacred garment. If anyone other than these Indians tries to take it, the earth will not let it. They wear a ring and hold a bar with which they can achieve anything, and both are considered secret. After going to a spring, Tyaneussss, who later saw her look like Eureka of Viotia, stripped naked and then smeared their heads with an amber medicine that warmed the Indians so much that the body evaporated and sweat came out without dripping, just like the bodies of those who have taken a steam bath. Then they dived into the water, and after being washed in this way, proceeded to the sanctuary crowned and chanting hymns. They stood in a circle like a theater dance, and after placing the master at the top, they hit the ground with their sticks. The earth curled like a wave and lifted them 2 bars high into the air. They chanted an ode similar to that of Sophocles, which is sung in Athens in honor of Asclepius. When they came down to earth, the master called the young man holding the anchor and said to him, "Take care of Apollonius, friends." The young man from the fastest birds went and came back saying, "I took care of them." The source is from Greek Wikipedia, Apollonius of Tyaneussss, and this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Obviously, it shows that the ancient Brahmins of ancient India had certain secret knowledges of parapsychology. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.